Hey Clashers, Builderbase got a huge problem because, well, it's broken. It's not working as intended. The best you can see that with just taking a look at the top rankings in the leaderboards, with people already closing in on 20,000 trophies. This is insane. This should never happen. And in today's video, I will exactly explain to you why this is happening. What are we seeing, and especially explaining why you have seen for quite some time the top players kinda, trying to bring attention to this with creating clans, telling Supercell that they should try to fix their game, and more specific, trying to fix the system which is behind Builderbase. But I think for explaining all of this, we should just jump back and think about where all of this started. All of this started with the Builderbase 2.0 update, with the huge rework Supercell has announced. And looking back, I have to say, I liked the changes which they added regarding the gameplay. The new mechanics, the rework of the troops, everything, it's great. The only problem is that, well, the entire system around does not seem finished. It just seems like in the end that Supercell was in a huge rush and there were like way too many things not really fixed, not really tested properly, not really working in the end. And all of the players out there have really noticed that with game crashes. Even in the home village, your bases were changed in Legend League, in Clan Wars. You had weird bases activated and other stuff happened. And as I said, game crashes were kind of common. Over the first couple of days, Clash of Clans was a huge mess. And after time and time, Supercell was able to fix most of those issues. But then, over the last couple of weeks, Supercell has to try to keep going with fixes regarding Builderbase. And this has kind of made things worse. Overall, I have already told Supercell before the update even launched that I see a big problem, especially in the end of the season, that it feels kind of random on how many defenses you get. Because if you play in the last hour, let's say you're a top pusher, top 100, or wherever you are on the leaderboard, and you're non-stop grinding in the last hour, you might get lucky, and just based on when the timer ends, you don't get all of your defenses regarding the attacks. Because if everything works, you should do one attack and you should take one defense. That's how it should work. Well, that's not how it works, and that's kind of what I told them, and they were more like, yeah, that should be fine. It will work. It will work. It's going to be all right. Well, unfortunately, it's not. And as I said, with the last couple of fixes that I tried, they have made this worse than anyone could have expected. Because what now happens is that some people are taking no or really little defenses, while some other players are dropping insane trophy counts just because they're getting spammed with the defenses. And what do you mean by that? Well, some players were really high up in the diamond leaderboards at above 9,000 trophies, and after a day or some days they finished on like 2,000 trophies because they have gotten so many defenses for no reason. Some people even dropped below 100 trophies, and because of the system, because of the trophy system, they could not even climb back up again because, well, they don't gain any trophies. The system, which you might know, where you get 50 trophies per 6-star, did not really work for them. They got like only a couple of trophies, and I'm talking really about like 3-4 trophies, something like that, for a 6-star. And if you're getting non-stop defenses, it's really hard to climb with that. So overall, the entire system is broken. And with that, it's really problematic because, I mean, obviously, like for some players, the game is unplayable, but as well, like records are getting broken, world records are getting set up at the moment. As I said, we might see this week the first player crossing 20,000 trophies. And I would be really surprised if Supercell would ever remove this in the in the profile, which means those records are going to be set. And from this point on, if this is not going to be changed, there's going to be no records in the future, because the current records are only possible because of the bugs, the glitches, the not working game, if you want to name it like that. So overall, a lot of issues are going on with people taking too many or too little defenses, and this is really a big problem. I really want to highlight again that I think the changes, the idea of Supercell was great for the entire system. and as well with how the gameplay feels. I still think it's incredible with the different troops and everything, and them feeling more stronger and stuff like that. And at this point, I really want to give a quick shout out to a tournament which is going on, because for everyone out there who loves Builder Base and wants to play it, well, current leaderboards right now is not really working for most people, so I just want to promote this tournament which is going on. It's going to be one of the biggest Builder Base tournaments, and if you want to sign up, feel free to do so. The Discord link is going to be down below in the description, so you can just sign up and hopefully have fun there, and maybe even win some money. But let's get back to the problem, because we want to talk about as well about things which have to change, or how things should change. Because overall, well, the current system, even if it works, I don't think it's perfect. This is something which a lot of people have brought to the attention, and I feel like we should talk about that as well. Because let's imagine that Supercell is hopefully going to fix that. By the way, I guess Supercell is still in like on summer vacation, so I guess we won't see a fix really soon. I just hope that they're already working on it in the background or something. But the one thing as well, as I said, which I want to talk about is just how should things look like with everything working. Because if everything is working as intended, one attack, one defense, everything is great, the leaderboards overall is still not 100% skill-based. Yes, it takes skill to get to the higher ranks, but as well, it's a lot of time-based as well. Because if you do a lot of attacks, and you're really good, you should be able to really climb a lot of trophies way quicker than someone who might be as well really good, but is just doing less attacks. So, that's a problem. Because overall, I think it's always great to have like the best attackers or the best players in general on top. So, what I like is a system which is kind of similar to how Brawl Stars works. So we have the trophies, and the trophies should be casual. In the end, most of the time, trophies are kind of casual anyways. So what about the approach of just saying, okay, it's fine. Trophies are time-based. If you have a lot of time, you can just push whatever. Do whatever you want, that's totally fine. But I think what would be really cool is like a separate mode like the Power League in Brawl Stars, which then is kind of like for people being able to try hard, people trying to do their best in winning and stuff. And I feel like it would be really cool if there would be two modes. One solo mode, but in the end it is Clash of Clans, right? It's like a social game. It should be a game which you play together with your friends, which in Builder Base is not 100% possible. Which in the end, it's fine. It's kind of like the solo mode in Clash of Clans, but at the same time as well, it should be possible for people who enjoy this game mode, play it with your friends. So it would be really cool to have like a solo edition, but then as well, maybe like a 3 versus 3 or something, or 5 versus 5. I think at some point, if it's getting too big, it might be getting a bit tricky, but like a 3 versus 3 or 5 versus 5 might be totally fine overall. And I think that would be really cool, having like something like a Power League, like a separate mode where you can really grind and push and whatever. And then at the same time, you don't really have to turn the trophy mode or like the trophy pushing into a really sweaty environment. Especially the reason why I like this the most, or like why I like this so much, to have like separate modes, is because trophy pushing or the trophy ladders is overall connected to resources. And I don't like, I mean, yes, in the end I like it if people have to maybe attack a bit better to gain resources. But then again, for the game overall, I think it's really good that even complete casual players can get to maxed out. And I feel like this is one of the big success stories why Clash of Clans is still one, if not the most successful game for Supercell, because anyone could get to maxed Town Hall 15 with even playing Barge, because it is not connected to being really good at the game. And this I feel like with having those separate two modes in Builder Base would be the perfect fit, right? You don't have to sweat in the resource mode. That's how I call the trophy mode then. So we don't have to really sweat there because it's mainly for trophies. And yes, you can still push and invest time and stuff and stay on top of that leaderboard. But if you really need to express your skill, in the end, the separate mode, like that said, if I just would copy the words from Brawl Stars, the Power League mode or whatever, would be really cool. At least that's kind of how I see it. But then again, this is just me. Maybe I'm missing something really important, and I have to completely admit that I'm not really that deep into the Builder Base scene, whatever you want to call it. So what would you think? out of those builder base pros out there, what would you like to see, beside obviously fixing the game, but what would you like to see game mode wise and stuff like that in builder base in the future? Because I think overall, I mean, Supercell has no bad intentions, that's quite obvious, right? But we all can agree that the system behind builder base is not really working, so what would you like to see is getting changed? How are things going to be changed? That would be really interesting to read, so let me know down below in the comments. And yes, before all of those comments are coming up, I know not everyone likes builder base, but that's completely fine. For all of those people who like it, I think it's going to be quite nice thing then in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next one. Until then, see ya and bye bye.